Hi there, this is David and welcome to my review of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, released for all the modern consoles as well as the PC. As I'm sure many of you are aware, Eiyuden Chronicles was created as a spiritual successor to the Suikoden series. It's even created by the same development team. And, as it was created as a stretch goal for their wildly successful Kickstarter, you shouldn't go into this expecting a masterpiece, but instead, a nice little game to tide you over until 100 Heroes releases next year. But, is Rising actually any good? Does it live up to the original series' glorious expectations? And can the developers actually create a fun, engaging, fully developed and fleshed out game? Let's find out. Upon first inspection, I immediately thought, great, a cell phone game. And well, yeah, this does have very basic controls, as well as easy to follow progression. There's just something charming about it that I can't put my finger on. I'm not blind, and I've read other reviews which were middling to poor, so I didn't come into it with any kind of real high expectations, but I have been known to enjoy objectively bad games in the past. I mean, you're looking at a fan of the 7th Saga and Beyond the Beyond, for God's sakes. And all I can do is be honest, and judge it on its own merits, so that's what I'm going to try to do here. You take on the role of CJ, an outlander, who's an outcast from mainstream society. So, when she arrives in town, she's to earn her keep by doing menial tasks for the townsfolk and gaining the trust of the, and here's your word of the day, viewers, rapacious mayor. She says that CJ needs 100 grand in order to become an adventurer, or else she can get a stamp card to receive her adventurer's license by fulfilling all the most random quests you've ever seen by these helpless losers around town. And therein lies the main bulk of the game. Side quests and main quests. Every single Tom, Dick, and Harry that you run into has some sort of inane quest for you. From rescuing a cat, to getting lumber for a fence, or rocks for a wall, or whatever other sorts of crap. Everybody wants something from you. But everybody rewards you with a stamp for your efforts as well. I'm not gonna lie, at first, I hated it. I didn't want another stupid fetch quest game. I didn't care about the townsfolk and their dumb problems, and I was like, screw this. But, for the sake of this review, I pressed on. The first 5 or so stamps seriously, take forever. It took me like an hour to get them. But after that, the game picks up the pace, and within another hour, I got like 20 stamps in under 10 minutes. Which might sound like a lot, but you're going to have to get literally hundreds of stamps before you finish this game. And many of them can be on the annoying side. It's like, please go to the forest and get lumber to help me build my shop. Oh, thanks for the lumber. Now go back to the forest, just one screen further, and get me some stones. Okay, great, I got the stones. Now go back one screen further and get me some mushrooms. It's constant, slow, glacial progression into the dungeons to gather one thing at a time, before heading back to turn in the quest, and then getting asked to go just one screen further for some other random ass item. And at first, it is slow like this, one at a time. But again, a few hours later, you'll be able to get all sorts of junk all at once, defeating the enemies and hitting the mining spots, and fulfilling multiple quests at once, so it does definitely get better. Because of this, fast travel is a godsend. However, it's janky. When you're in town, you can warp to wherever you want, but whenever you're in a dungeon, you can't. You can only warp at a signpost, and then you can only warp out of the dungeon, not straight into town. Also, you're going to have tons of quests given to you at all times, but only one of those quests can be active, and you can't see where the quests are located on the fast travel screen. You have to go back into the map screen and then look there, then figure out where to fast travel to. That might seem minor, but since the entire game revolves around fetch quests, the frustrations do add up. Another thing that bothered me was crafting. I swear to God, it's the bane of my existence, and you're going to be picking up all sorts of crap whenever you run into these dungeons. That's not so bad, except that you have a 50 item limit. So each time that you reach a signpost, you're probably going to want to warp out of the dungeon, register the completion screen, then go warp back into the dungeon just to reset your bag. Otherwise, you won't be able to pick up all the bullshit that the enemies drop, and then the mining points that are constantly thrown your way. Yeah, you can upgrade the bag later, but again, it's still another unneeded headache. Why do we have item limits in games today? Completing quests doesn't just move the story forward, but it also serves to level you up as well as the town. For each quest that you complete, you're going to get experience and gold, but most of the time it's also going to open up new shops. Everybody and their mother has their own shop. It's kind of ridiculous. You're going to open up item shops, apothecaries, accessory shops, armor shops, weapon shops, magic shops, inns, taverns, bars, rune shops, and bag shops, just to name a few. I've never seen so many shops in my entire life. And it's not like you just buy an item from these shops either. You first have to craft the item, and then, and only then, are you able to purchase the item. How annoying. In town, you have to talk to all these no-name, do-nothing beggars. And let me tell you, the dialogue is downright atrocious. And you know that the developers knew it too, because there's a skip button, where you don't even have to read what these morons are saying. I mean, honest to God, at one point the hero and the heroine argue back and forth about when she was potty trained, that she was potty trained at 1.5 years old. And don't get me started on the rapacious mayor either. I used that skip button liberally for the downright stupid quest dialogue, but I did suffer through the cringe-worthy main story dialogue just for the sake of the story. The dungeons, and I use that term loosely, aren't exactly an explorer's paradise either. They're pretty much just straight lines with a few branching paths here and there, and some minor puzzles. So the vast majority of the gameplay boils down to the combat, and that really is the one redeeming factor here. I had a blast going through and wiping the floor with the enemies armed with only a pickaxe. CJ is a balanced fighter who's incredibly agile, moving at warp speed, and she can hit multiple times as well as double jump, while her partner Guru is more of a tank with a huge sword with tons of range and the ability to parry attacks, as well as her other partner, Isha, a magic user. In combat, the three of them can link together to unleash devastating attacks, but that's kind of jankified too, because whenever you do it, it automatically switches who you control. So many times you're going to be exploring with CJ, only to get into combat, trigger a link where you automatically switch to your partner, and then you have to switch back to CJ because she just moves so much faster. It's just another annoying thing that gets real old real fast. Now, despite all the downsides that are apparent here, there's just something charming about it. Some indistinguishable feature that I really can't put my finger on that makes me want to come back for more. I actually found myself craving to play it. I went to bed thinking about the quests. I wanted to collect more stamps. I wanted to upgrade the town. I wanted to fulfill all these loser, stupid little quests. I don't know what it is about it, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. Call me a fool, call me a casual, call me whatever, but I had fun. You just need to be aware that it's not a polished, great experience, and that there are tons of downsides, but there is some fun to be had here. Now, is it $15 fun? No. Is it $5 fun? Yeah, it kind of is. But honestly, I also kind of feel like they should have released this for free as a hype builder for the main event next year. Well, that's it for my review of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. How did you feel about the game? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and what I do here on the channel, please consider heading on over to Twitch for some streaming fun, checking out Patreon for exclusive videos and early access to my content, or coming on over to Discord to chat and hang out. The links to them all can be found in the video description. This has been David, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.